Welcome everyone to Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. I'm Kathy and I just want to thank you so much for stopping in, and I'm trying a little different format today, and I hope in a recorded video that you will enjoy this. This is pretty much my format I use for my lives, so I'm hoping that this will help open up to my viewers exactly who I am. You'll see a little bit more than just my hands, and I thought that would be nice. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and transition out. This way you will be able to see both me and my craft table, and we're going to do a little something today, and it's going to be, for me it's going to feel like alive because I am testing this out. But I have here in front of me a stamp set, and if you tuned in for my live yesterday, you know that I pulled this stamp set out, and when I pulled it out, all of these little bits and pieces was inside my stamp case. So I had a piece of cardstock that I had put in there that I was working on. I had some of the little trees and limbs and different colored of my little critters in different colors. I even had a background that I had worked on, and then I had this one that I had actually made into a card, but then I realized that my coloring with my alcohol markers had bled through. Now you can remedy that by just putting another piece of cardstock, cut it to fit, and cover all that up, and that would be great. But what I like to do is to make a panel to go on front of your card, build all of your coloring up on it, and then attach it to your card base. I like that, I think, better. So like if we were going to use this one, I would have a card base, and let's pull a card base like, oops, that's not a card base, that's a mat. Let me pull my card bases over, and I'm going to use a piece of the pink. I think this is this Polished Pink or Magenta Madness? When in doubt, check it out. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to check it out. And let's see, that's Polished Pink, so this is more than likely Magenta Madness. So let's see. Where is another bright pink? This looks like it, and it is Magenta Madness. So now we know what color that cardstock is. It's great to have a swatch like this. These are so great to have. If you have all of the colors of your cardstock, you can very easily take a scrap, your scrap bin, and make one of those. Cut it down to the smallest size of your smallest scrap, and you can make, it doesn't have to be big, it can be small, but they are great to have. This now will fit on top of here, and then we could easily pop this up, but like I did on this one, if you want to stamp some trees behind there, this would be the perfect time to go ahead and do these. So what I would do, since we've already gotten this, and I wanted to tell you how I did the clouds. I made a template out of different size circles. So I took my heaviest cardstock, and all I done was punched out some circles and glued them together to give me different sizes and textures. And you can turn these and turn them and turn them and angle them to make your clouds however you want your clouds to fall. I thought these were really cute. That little bit of pink up there kind of really brings out our girl's pink personality that she's showing right here. So I just thought that it was just a great way to do that. So let's go ahead and pull this stamp, and I am going to stamp some of my trees directly down on here, and I am going to use let's grab both of our little trees out of here. And to give me an idea of where I want this, I'm going to go ahead and put this down where I want it to live. Then I know where I want my trees to go. Now I want a tree coming up right here, kind of behind my girl. And remember, this is going to be stuck on top, so we don't have to worry about masking because we already have this cut out. So I want a tree right about there, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp that one. And I'm going to use my Momento Tuxedo black ink, simply because I know that I'm going to alcohol color these, or even if I decided to use colored pencils and I wanted to use Gamsol with it, I would still need to use my Momento Tuxedo black ink. So I'm going to stamp this one right about here, and I'm going to let me get a piece of cardstock. Here's a piece that I was playing with yesterday that I got some stamps on it. So we're going to bring this over because I want to be able to stamp off just a little bit to give that a look like it's just off the edge of the cardstock. I think that's so cute. So then I'll bring my little critters back in and set them down. And let's see how cute that's going to be. Now I want a couple of these bigger ones. I'm going to try to get this to, yeah, see, it will fit on there. I just needed to manipulate it just a tiny bit. I'm going to ink that up, get a good amount of ink on it, and I'm going to stamp this one right about here. And then we'll go back with my smaller one. And I want one of those. I think I want one of these right about here. And then we're going to do one more right here. Let's see, when we set that down, that's going to look great because we're going to have trees back there in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and close up my ink. And let's get our chamois because y'all know that I'm a stickler for cleaning my stamps. Alright, so now that I've got this done, I want to grab, I'm trying to decide, do I want to use, I love the Gamsol and the way that worked, that I showed you in the video from last week. I think I am. I think I'm going to grab my colored pencils and my trusty little bottle of Gamsol. And I know we're going to be working with green, so this little stump has green on the end of it, so we're going to use that one. And I grabbed a small one because we're going to be getting in between these little tiny areas right there. So I'm going to zoom y'all in a little closer. About like that. I'm going to go ahead and soak that into my Gamsol. So this is my Gamsol right here. I did order me a larger bottle because I'm thinking, as much as I love this stuff, I am going to be using a lot of it. I'm going to grab two greens. I want a garden green and an old olive green. I'm going to start out with my garden green, and I'm just going to put a little color just right in the middle of these leaves. I'm going to go back in with a little, looks like I need to sharpen this pencil. I have really been using my colored pencils, and I am loving the effect of that Gamsol on my colored pencils. It is just fantastic. So that gives us a nice sharp point. So I'm going to come in with just a tiny bit of that old olive. Well, dang. I'm breaking lead everywhere. Something like that. And I'm going to come back in with this garden green. then I want to grab an old espresso, early espresso, I'm sorry. And I'm going to come in and I want my trunk of my tree, just put down a little brown up in there. There we go. Looking good. So I'm going to go in. I had already soaked some of that on there. I'm just going to make sure I get it good and wet. And then I'm going to start with my leaves because I'm using that little green end. And look at that. And the good thing about the Gamsol that I have found is that when you're coloring with it, it does something to the paper. So if you needed to come back in and say you wanted a little bit more of that garden green in this one, it makes your pencils feel like velvet. And then you can always go back and blend those a little bit more. And I'm going to go ahead and do my other end. And I've got orange on it. So what I'm going to do is after I get it wet, I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to clean that tip. Get that orange all off of it. Orange or yellow. I'm going to take my little sanding tool and I'm just going to sand off a tiny bit of that. Like sharpens your little stumps so that they color better. It also takes the color off. So now I think I got all that yellow off. We're going to test it. Yeah, nothing there now. So I'm going to go back in right in here where that brown on that tree trunk. And see how beautiful that just blends everything in. So pretty. And where you see that oil effect outside, that is going to fade. That will dry and you won't even see it. So let's go over and do this one. This time I'm just going to put some color just in those tight places. And we're going to pull the color. So let's go back in and I'm just going to pull that color. And like I said, if you see that you need a little bit more color on the other side, you can go back in. And when you put it down over the Gamsol, it just makes it beautiful. And my colored pencils that I'm using are the colored pencils out of the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. There are two assortments, Assortment 1 and Assortment 2. And these are watercolor pencils. And I haven't tried this with just regular colored pencils. I need to, but I love my Stampin' Up! Colored pencils. They blend so well with both with water, as well as this Gamsol. So they are just fantastic pencils. So if you're in the market for a set of really nice watercolor blendable pencils, I would highly recommend the Stampin' Up! Ones, and I'll have a link to those in the description below. So if you are interested, you can just go and pick some up. Now I'm going to do here and here and here and here and here and here and here. Then I'm going to come back with my other green, and any of those leaves that I didn't get, I'm going to just go down that middle with the other green, which is the Old Olive. The first one I used was Garden Green. And then we're going to grab our little stump, put it down in that Gamsol, get it nice and saturated, and then we are going to just go in and move that color around. Now remember what I said, you can always go back and put some more color down, but what you can't do is take it up. So I say start light, and you can always build on it. So since I had these pieces, I just thought this would be a really cute video for me to pop up tomorrow for everyone. I probably won't have anything to go up on Saturday because we had family to come in, because as many of you know, my husband's niece, his oldest sister's daughter, lost her battle with cancer, and she donated her body to science, so they did not have a funeral, and they came up, or they're going to be here tomorrow, today, as a matter of fact. So we're going to be spending time with family over the weekend, and we're going to have a little celebration of life for Debbie, and I think it's going to be really nice and very heartfelt, to say the least. And I still have her GoFundMe page up on my page, and if you feel so inclined to make any amount of donation to that, I can promise you that it will go for what it was intended, and that is her medical bills. Her aging parents are on a very fixed income, and I know that this is going to be a hard time for them to be able to take care of all the medical bills that was left behind. So any contribution that you can make, whatever God lays on your heart, would be so appreciated. So I'm going to go back in. I'm going to try something different this time. I'm going to go ahead and wet my area first with my Gamsol, and then I'm going to run my pencil over it. Just like that. Then I'm going to go back with my little stump and just smooth that out. Isn't that pretty? I think I like it like that. It's so smooth looking. Okay, I'm going to grab my green again. I think this one I'm going to do it all in. Maybe I want to do one in Greeny Apple Green. Let's do this one in Greeny Apple Green. What's so nice about this, you don't have to be a good colorist. You just throw some color in there and just let the medium, which is the Gamsol, do its thing. Just like that. And then we are going to go back in with the dark green. I'm going to do this one all in dark. And we're going to go ahead and do our tree trunk. And there we go. How pretty is that? Now we're ready just to go ahead and pop up our little critters right there. And you know, I fussy cut this a while back, and of course I'm looking at it and thinking, oh my goodness, I didn't do such a good job. But you know what? We can always come back and clean up just a tiny bit. Any place that I'm not happy, I'm just going to trim it a little bit more. And let's try up in here. I think I like that a little bit better, so let's smooth out that little bit of the little trim off that I did. I'm going to go ahead and close my jam saw, and I'm going to grab some dimensionals. I'm going to put a row across the bottom. And the paper snips. I'm going to snip some of these. I always tell y'all, don't throw away these little pieces because they can work in places that you would not expect them to work. And they work just like a regular Stampin' Dimensional, and they just give you a little extra on here, and I say don't waste it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take your pick tool, and I'm going to go through and lift off as many of these as I can. One more right here. And now all we have to do is bring this back over in front, and then we can sit this down just like that. What a cute little card that has turned into. So now we're just going to go and grab our piece of Magenta Madness, and we can glue this directly down. We need to do us a sentiment, and I'm going to use my cloud punch. Let's see, where is my cloud punch? Right here. And I think I'm going to grab a scrap of Balmy Blue. And y'all are hearing my dog snoring in the background. I do apologize. They snort and grunt and groan and all kinds of stuff while they're sleeping. I'm going to do a couple of these. And I think I'm going to take my Pacific Point, and I'm going to use a sponge dauber. Actually, do I want to use that, or do I want to use a brush? Let me show you how good you can edge using our brushes, and this is one I've dedicated to blue, and I'm just going to tap it in that Pacific point, and then I'm just going to come around the edge of this just like that. And look how pretty that cloud is going to look, just floating up there on the card. I don't know that I'm going to need two of them. We could put one right here and cut it off. How about that? We'll put this piece of one. Little cloud looking like it's stopping right there. I love that. So let's ink up. And we can glue that one down right about there. And I think that's going to work beautifully. And before we put these down, this one is the one I want to put the sentiment in. And I just want it to say, let's see what we can find over here that I really like. How about just a hello? I think that would be cute. And I'm going to use these sentimental swirls for that. And I'm just going to grab the word hello. And we're going to put that right in the middle. And I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp that in the Momento black. And because this is a photopolymer stamp, I am going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. I'll stamp right here first. Very good. And now I'm going to get this right here in the middle. And go ahead and get that perfect. Let me zoom y'all back out because I know I'm tight up in here. There we go. So now we have this cloud, and I want to put just some regular glue on this one. And a little bit of glue like that, and I'm going to drop this right to the edge of the card so it looks like that cloud has drifted off, has drifted off from the beaten path. And then this one is going to go right about there. And I think this one we're going to pop up. I want it to have a little bit more dimension than the other one. Let me put my lid back on my ink. Yeah, let's pop this up. I had stamped something on the back of that paper, but you can see it doesn't matter because no one's going to know that except you and I. And I'm not talking. So let's grab some more of these little pieces that we can save. I think that's good. And Take your pick. And those can go in the trash. And we can put this right up here. Like so. And now we can bring over our card base, and this can go down right on the center of our card. And what a cute little card that is. Just a, I'm thinking of you, a hello card. Hey, you're in my thoughts and prayers. You know, we need to let people know we care. And what better way than to say I care than to send someone a card for no reason. Not a birthday. Oops, you know what I'm getting ready to do? I'm getting ready to set that down on the inside. That's not where we want that. Just like so. Mesh everything down. Like that. I love it. What do y'all think? Don't you think that turned out really cute? Let me go ahead and cover up my glue. And the only thing left to do is to put a piece in the middle. And then we can write a sentiment in there. I'm going to go ahead and use some Stampin Seal. Just like that, and put that in about like that. Now you got a lovely place to either stamp or write a handwritten message, which is always nice. I am going to just crease this down a little bit better. Anytime you manipulate and push the card in different directions, then it doesn't want to lie as straight. So we fix that. And now that is a beautiful little card ready to send to someone that you just want to lift their spirits. And what wouldn't lift someone's spirits than this little card? It's so stinking cute. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that you will tune in again for another one of my videos. I know that a lot of this was already done. I may come in and do a video showing me coloring this, because this was so super cute to color and it was so easy to do. This was all done with the Stampin' Blend alcohol markers. So I might do that. I might come back and do another video showing how I colored this. But it's so stinking cute. I hope that you enjoyed it and you love it as much as I do. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy. I love you guys so much, and until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye.